My name is Ken, but my friends call me Ken Dog, and I'm inviting you to join me as I travel down the Mother Road, Route 66. After leaving the Uranus Fudge Factory behind, it was back out on Route 66, headed through Waynesville, Missouri. Yeah, this was a neat little town. I love these old buildings like this. Yeah, it's kind of cool to see, even though it is sad. I mean, I've talked about it before. It is the remains of once thriving businesses, right? But it's kind of cool to get to see that something from those old days still exists. I love the angled parking in downtowns here, these small towns. Absolutely love coming through these little places like this. Waynesville was really neat too. Again, I'd never heard of this town at all. Almost bought a car. Would love to have bought that, to tell you the truth. But my next stop was going to be up the road a little ways in the town of Lebanon, Missouri. I wanted to check out a hotel that was there. But before I could get there, I got fascinated by this place. Look at this. Look at this old bridge. Oh my goodness. I wish I could have walked out on there. I didn't trust myself, that's for sure. Maybe next time. But yeah, so awesome. But it was on into Lebanon. You get a little peek of what I'm headed for right there. Yeah, it's the Munger Moss Motel. The Munger Moss Motel originally opened in 1946, and it's one of those places that when you start studying about Route 66, places to stay or at least places to check out, it's always on every single list that I see. I didn't get the chance to stay there because I had my sights set on Springfield, Missouri, but I did take the time to check it out. And again, I've talked about how I love mileage signs. Theirs is really cool. But the Munger Moss, man, it's a great place. And I found something to throw me back here. See that right there? That's what you call a round to it. Yeah, my uncle gave me one of those years ago, and I found two now on this trip. So that's pretty cool. But I checked out the town of Lebanon as I left there. I just love the different wall murals they have there and the feel of this old town. It was pretty cool, honestly. I wish I could have spent more time there because I heard that they've got a museum at the library as well. I didn't get to do that. Maybe next time. I seem to say that a lot, don't I? But definitely maybe next time. So I will have to get back up there. You know, I live in Oklahoma. I'm not that far away from there. So maybe. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But I love traveling Route 66. I've had so much fun. So I just might do it. But check this out. In Lebanon, they have this little area here that has these really cool murals on it. Mural Drive, they call it. And you could just literally drive right through and check out all these kind of billboard looking things. The fountain was barely on the day I was there, but it was really cool to get to see. Then on my way outside of town, I saw some more relics. And then there's Redmond's, the world's largest gift shop. Now that's not in Lebanon, that's a ways away, but that was my next stop evidently. And so I just kept going. I wasn't feeling too good that day. Honestly, not feeling good at all. Feeling so bad, honestly, that I didn't even get out of my car to check out the replica here of the Hubble Space Telescope here in Marshfield, Missouri. Yeah, it's in his hometown. They've got it on display there. Look kind of cool. I didn't get out to check it out because I was feeling really run down for some reason. You know, several days on the road, who are you going to call? You see that up there? Several days on the road can really be wearing you down, and I was getting to that point. A couple days from home, maybe that's all it was. Maybe I just didn't sleep well last night. I don't know. But what I did know is that I was finally into Springfield, Missouri, and that's where I was going to stay that night, right here at the Rail Haven Motel. You know, it's an old Best Western, and I love those old signs. Reminds me of being a kid traveling the country. Man, speaking of when I was a kid, now I'm not that old, but I love those old cars. But Springfield is a great place to stay the night, so I decided I would sack out here at the world famous Rail to Haven Motel. This place was awesome. Look at that. Looks like it's straight out of the 50s and 60s. Every little bit of it walking around was just fantastic. So I love the fact that you can park this close to your room. Speaking of room, let's take a look at mine. Like having those plugs. Yeah, cool little room here. Actually, not too little. I mean, look at all that room there. I was really kind of surprised the room that they gave me because it's just me. I didn't need that bunk bed, but love the history they had here. And give me a place that's got a microwave and a fridge, and I'm sold. You can see me heating up my dinner there. They had chairs right out front where you could hang out, and that's where I was when I met these two guys. They're from Scotland, and they're doing Route 66 on a motorcycle. Tonight I'm staying at the Railhaven Motel, a very famous hotel here on Route 66 in Springfield, Missouri. This motel's got a lot of things to see, just walking around the complex. Cars, this old phone booth here, probably as close as I'll ever get to England. But they got some pretty cool neon. Just check out that Springfield sign there. That looks really neat. I just decided before I would call it a night, even though I was exhausted, not feeling good as I mentioned, that I wanted to go out and I wanted to see some of the things around the complex. So just spent a little bit of time walking around. It's not that big of a place, but you know, it was pretty cool. And it's a throwback. I mean, it really is to the days when I was growing up, some of the places we would stay at, you know, like Little America in Wyoming. Not as cool as Little America, I'll give it that, but just the look of it kind of reminded me of that. And then, of course, when you've got people in their classic cars. There was quite the beautiful sunset that night in Springfield. Glad I got to take in the Railhaven. I mean, everything about it. Love the neon. But I needed to get me some sleep. I was heading on down Route 66 in the morning. All right, so last night I stayed at the Railhaven here in Springfield. This place is awesome. Absolutely love the entire vibe of this place. The neon signs, the old cars parked on property, the rooms, everything about it was just spectacular. I'm really glad I got that opportunity. So today, it's going to be a little bit easier day than it's been so far on this trip. Today, I'm going to go see a few things here in Springfield, and then I'm going to head towards Carthage, Missouri. And it's not that far up the road, but there are several things in between that I want to see. So let's do it. As I've said a few times, I absolutely love the Railhaven. I don't know, man. There are just some certain places along the route that are just fantastic. This one, I absolutely love the one I'm going to stay in this next night. And even going back to the first part of my trip where I stayed at the Blue Swallow in Tucumcari, New Mexico. Yeah, that was absolutely fantastic. But this place has got a lot of history. But, you know, it was time to hit the road. I had some other things I wanted to see in Springfield, so I bid adieu to the Railhaven, and my first stop was at the world's largest fork. Yeah, again, if it's got world's largest attached to it, I'm probably going to go see it. Why this is there, I'm not quite sure, but it was pretty cool. I mean, a ginormous fork, How could you not like it? I've seen a huge spoon in Minnesota. Where was it? In Minneapolis, at the Walker Arts Center or something like that, right? It's got a big cherry on it with a fountain. So I've seen the spoon. Now I've seen the fork. Maybe there's a knife somewhere too. If there is, I'll have to find it. But this stainless steel fork is 35 foot tall and weighs 11 tons. The next thing I wanted to see in Springfield was right here, this giant. I love seeing these giants, the old muffler men, right? We've seen a few on this trip. This one, yeah, if you don't know what's there and happen to drive by it slowly, you're probably going to miss it because he's kind of camouflaged by a couple of power poles there, like the one behind him and the one just out in front of him a little ways. But I don't know the story behind him, but he looked like he was ready to grill up something, so that was kind of cool. Glad I got to see him. Love seeing those things like the Gemini Giant and one there in Atlanta, right? So that was neat. But back into Springfield proper I went. A couple other things I wanted to see before my next stop, like this right here, Steak and Shake. I've heard that this is the original location of Steak and Shake. Not a big fan, honestly, but that was kind of neat to see as I drove by. The visitor center here does have some pretty cool stuff to check out if you have the time. I did not because I wanted to get downtown to the birthplace of Route 66. Yeah, they've got it marked here with this really cool looking little marker here. Really hard to read here on video, but essentially the site of the Colonial Hotel, which was, couldn't tell if it was like right here or if it was like right behind me, to be honest, where it was where they came up with the idea for Route 66. So literally, this right here, this corner, this intersection, is the birthplace of Route 66. So that was kind of cool to get to see. Spent a little bit of time there just looking around, trying to Google more information on it and stuff, but didn't have a whole lot. But then I happened to notice across the street that the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band had played there. Man, that's one of my all-time favorite bands, so I wish I could have seen them while I was there. That would have been fun, but Springfield's got a lot to offer, so I decided I would just check it out little by little. Spend some time looking at their murals, just doing a slow drive through town. I was on my way down to Carthage, but I wanted to get as much of the experience of Springfield as I could and check this one out. Yeah, the one with the hubcaps, the 66 with the hubcaps there, that was cool to get to see. And they've got this roadside park here that's really neat too, where they've got, some throwbacks, the old billboard signs. We've seen a few of those along the way. But one of the other things that I really wanted to see was this sign right here. Yeah, Giant Hamburg, right? Red's Giant Hamburg sign. That's, of course, the one that they reconditioned and brought there. Great story about it. You should pause it and read that, honestly. It was a neat little park. But then I kept moving, just checking out everything I could. But again, there is a lot. And thank goodness I don't live that far from Springfield. Just, I don't know, about 4.5, 5 hours maybe max. I could get back up there if I want to sometime to really take it all in. Here's a famous stop right here, the Rockwood Motor Court. It was kind of cool to get to see these old motor courts, but honestly, the ones that weren't open often had security to keep you away from it. So I just took pictures from a distance like this here. I didn't want to get in trouble, didn't want to cause anybody any kind of issues, but I just wanted to be able to see them and imagine what it was like back in the day in the heydays of Route 66. And then headed out of town. There's an old DX gas station. You could tell by that sign right there that it's an old DX, right? Modern Cabins, not John's Modern Cabins. We've already been there. It's amazing to me what they use for the names. That place right there doesn't look too modern to me, but this was a stop that I had been looking forward to. Even though I wasn't feeling good at all that day, I had to get out at least a little bit and check it out. I'm at Gary's Gay Parita Sinclair Station in Everton, Missouri. Gary's Gay Parita Sinclair station here in Everton, Missouri is actually a recreation of a 1930s gas station that sat right here as well. If you look close and you see the rock walls over there, that is said to be original. Everything else pretty much is a recreation, but it did sit right in this general area as well. So let's take a closer look. This stop has a lot of cool things to see, honestly. It's one of those that I've heard from people saying that they've spent a lot of time here. I did see people out talking, so I don't know if they actually worked there and were answering questions or if it was just other travelers that stopped by. I saw somebody with a Michigan license plate in the parking lot, so that's kind of cool. I wish I had more time to explore it. Again, that seems to be the biggest thing that I keep saying on this trip is I wish I had more time. So if I ever get to do it again, I'll have to make me a list of the places that I had to skip over the first time so I can go back and hit them up a little bit more. And this one would definitely be it. And as it was that day, as I was saying, I wasn't feeling good at all. So, next time that I'm through, I'll spend more time at Gary's Sinclair station here. So look at it. Just check it out. 1,057 miles from the Jackrabbit Trading Post. That was a cool sign to see too. On the way to my next stop, I ran across this really cool old pony truss bridge here. I couldn't find out too much information on it, so if you happen to be watching this and you know more about it, if you would, drop a comment down below. But I love good old bridges like this. I don't know, they just don't make them like they used to, and I really dig going over them. So just took my time, took it all in, and just enjoyed it on my way to my next stop in Miller, Missouri. Like I said, I love a good bridge, and this one here is the Spencer Bridge. It is a through truss bridge that spans over Turnback Creek, and it dates back to 1923. So as of the day that I came through there, it was 100 years old already. That's just awesome. I mean, I hope to look that good when I turn 100. Love a good bridge, but what really excited me, what was right up around the corner right up here, could start taking a peek at it now. Yeah, that is Spencer Station. The town of Spencer dates back to its establishment on Johnson Mill there on Turnback Creek in about 1866. The post office was established there in 1868. The town itself was named after the owner of the Spencer General Store. But by the late 1910s, it was basically a ghost town, right? And then in 1925, Spencer was purchased by the town and included the vacant general store. It has become quite the popular stop along Route 66, and they have been spending quite a bit of time to actually refurb it and make it look really cool. The next town along the way is Avila, Missouri. They have some really cool places. Like, check out this soda shop here, Lottie's. That's a place you really want to go spend some time at. Again, I didn't get the chance, but next time through because it really looks neat. I love a good old bar as well. This one looks like a cool hangout. Check out this wall mural. God, man, I love good wall murals. Artists make me mad. They're so talented. I could never do something like that. So it's really neat to see this old dusty looking snowman, I suppose. Yeah, this little town was pretty cool. I took my time coming through it, looking at the old ruins. I'm assuming this was an old service station. Couldn't really find much details on it. but it was looking pretty cool. So I don't know. They have a lot of stuff there that really doesn't tell you a whole lot about what it is. Maybe I need to find me a good guidebook. If you know one, drop it in the comments below. Maybe next trip. But I was getting close to Carthage and I was getting kind of hungry, so I decided to stop at this place here called Habanero's Mexican Grill. Sounded like a great place to get a cold one, and that's exactly what I did. A big old cold one. Actually, if I'm honest with you, I probably had 3 or 4 of them. I grabbed something with shrimp in it. I can't remember what this was called, but oh my god, it was so amazing. Lunch was great, but then after leaving there, I made the drive through Carthage. I haven't been to Carthage in years. I mean, like, literally years. It was probably late 80s the last time I was in Carthage, Missouri. So I wanted to check things out. And then I was going to hit my hotel. My motel, if you will. That night, I was staying at Boots Court. So let's check out my room. Thing that caught my attention right away about this room was, well, no TV. No TV at all in here. Check that out. And it's got an old school alarm clock over there. It does have an air conditioner. It did have a radio, but no TV. So that was kind of interesting to me. Even a lot of the older ones that have updated have at least brought that modern amenity in, but not Boots Court. They advertise themselves with a radio in every room, and there sure enough was. So after checking into my room, I went ahead and went out amongst town just looking at stuff. Again, I haven't been to Carthage since the late 80s. I don't know, nothing really looked familiar to me, to be honest with you, because it's been that long. So I wanted to go see the town, and I just did a quick drive around looking at a lot of the older buildings here. Looks like they're putting in a newer place here, or maybe it's going out of business. I don't know, but Carthage is an old school town here in Missouri that is pretty cool, honestly. I mean, it's got that old town, southern town vibe to it, that's for sure. I mean, just look at this place. No matter where you went, all of these buildings just look so old. So cool to see, including the city hall here. So after I did a little drive around, I stopped at a local shop and I found me these Fritos right here. Yeah, chili limon. I'd never had them before. I definitely had to try them. And then it was back to my room I went because I wanted to watch the Oklahoma Sooner football game that night. Now again, no TV. That's off my tablet. I waited till, a decent time, and I wanted to go out and see this place lit up, see the neon of Boots Court. And so that's what I did. Everybody talks about how amazing the neon is. So I wanted to go out and see it. So let's take a look. So tonight, I'm in Carthage, Missouri at Boots Court. Boots Court was originally built in 1939 by Arthur Boots, and it is definitely one of those places where if you are planning a Route 66 trip, you need to stop here. You absolutely do. Check that out. You can park right underneath there for some of them. That's my car right there. Yeah, there was a lot of classic cars driving by that night when I was out, honking their horns, just enjoying the night in Carthage. I really, really like this stop. The neon was pretty cool. I mean, I don't know. Look at the glow of that. it doesn't do it justice compared to being there. So let me show you just a little bit more, and this is where I'm going to end this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.